and welcome to Lockdown and Online, here live, recorded live here in my log cabin in the centre of Birmingham. It is great to have you with us. We are Kingdom Comedy, and we organise comedy nights all over the country, in pubs, clubs, churches, all over the place. But of course, at the moment, you can't come to any of our nights. So we're bringing one of our nights to you, at least a taster of the nights that we run. And we are so pleased to have you with us. And we try and make it as much like a comedy night as we possibly can. We have our sign here, and we have a few knickknacks. And of course, we have our audience, ladies and gentlemen. And there has been it's been a bit of a disturbing week, because there's been some accusations made that Alex wasn't here this week. Alex was our lodger, and Alex wasn't here last week. It was just a child putting on an adult's voice. And how do you feel about that, Alex?
I'm offended.
Poor Alex is offended. So anyway, he was here last week.
Why? Life is so unfair.
Oh, okay. Thank you. Now, that's what happens when they do drama at school. Now, so, ladies and gentlemen, we're not only in the audience, we also have my daughter Hannah with us this evening.
Dad, what are you going to give us to stay this time?
What am I going to give you to stay? I shouldn't. Oh, I tell you what I have. Now, not to be seen as an irresponsible parent, what I've done is, in the first week, you had some popcorn and biscuits. Last week, you had some chocolate. So this week, you can have some fruit.
What?
Yeah, fruit. There you go.
Can I have raisins?
Can you have raisins? No, you can't have raisins. You've got grapes. Grapes are just like raisins that have put on weight, right? That's all they are. And it's a bit like, raisins were a bit like us before lockdown. Grapes are what we're gradually becoming during lockdown.
Can I have Cadbury's fruit and nut?
Cadbury's fruit and nut? No, you can't. That's got chocolate in it.
But it has fruit in it as well.
I know it has fruit, but it doesn't mean it's part of your 5 a day. So you've got fruit, which is kind of nature's. That's like nature's confectionery. Yeah. So we've got our audience with us this evening. We also have my wife Jackie with us, and my daughter Abigail, and they're going to make up our audience this evening, and they are very excited because we have 3 amazing acts this evening. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a Mr. Jamie Sutherland. We have the lovely Mrs. Isy Suttie with us, and the wonderful and fantastic Mr. Steve Day, ladies and gentlemen. It's going to be absolutely, because we do need a laugh. We do need a laugh at this time, don't we? Because we're in, what week are we in now? Are we in week 11 or 12? Week 12 of lockdown. But we're trying to keep fit. We're trying to keep fit in what we do. We do family exercise, and I also get kitted out and go out on my bike.
You look ridiculous in that.
I do not look ridiculous.
Oh, yes, you do.
Hey, this is not a panto, right? And I'll have you know, right? This is true. I'll have you know that there comes a point when a man hits maybe late 40s, early 50s, that he suddenly realises that he does look good in lycra. That's what he does understand. And not only that, he puts on lycra and cycles many miles, so as many people as he can enjoy the way he looks. That's the way we do it. You know, I think about like Saturday Night Fever and Xanadu. You know, we realise at that point that we just look good, and we just like to share that with you. So anyway, but no, it's quite interesting, as you can see. I have 2 daughters, but do you know what? I remember, Jack, once we had 2 female lodgers as well, didn't we? So we had 5 females, and now 5 females. I tell you what, I said, when I used to go into the bathroom, there's like all these potions, lotions everywhere. Half the time, I didn't have a clue what I'd clean my teeth with, right? I don't know. I reckon 2 or 3 times I actually exfoliated my mouth. That's what I did. And I'm going to tell you something that happened once, because we had one of our lodgers, and she was a little bit slightly bonkers, and she comes up to me and she goes, have you been using my shampoo? I'm going, hang on a second. Out of everybody in the house, you're asking me if I use shampoo. And I just want to point out to anybody out there, right, there's never a time that a bald person thinks, do you remember the time we used to go and wash our hair? Let's get some shampoo out and reminisce. Although, have I ever told you girls that when I was about like 22, I used Regain hair restorer? Did I ever tell you that, Jack? Yeah. Someone asked me, did it work the other day? Did it work? It's true. It was called Regain. It was about £40-50 a bottle, and I was using it. And someone said, did it work? I said, no, of course it's not worked, but it has had side effects later on in life, because I think the runoff has caused my eyebrows and ears to go berserk. Eyebrows and ears to go berserk. So, but ladies and gentlemen, wherever you are in lockdown, we hope you're going to enjoy our comedy night this evening. So you're ready for your first act, ladies and gentlemen?
Yes!
Now, what I always say is the more you can get into this bit, the more you're going to enjoy the acts. So what we do, we're going to start with you, Abigail, right? And then what's going to happen is I'm going to go across him. So what happens if you're sitting on your own, you can just go Like that, okay? If there's 2 of you sitting next to each other, you can just pass it, and then they carry it on to the end. If there's 4 of you, it's exactly the same. And the more you get into it, stamp your feet, cheer, the more you're going to enjoy it. Are you ready for your first act?
Yeah!
Of course you are. Okay, you ready, Abigail? Off you go. We're going to go. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome on stage your first act for this evening, Mr. Jamie Sutherland.
Good evening, thank you very much. Appreciate it, Duncan, you inviting us on here, and hello to everybody. Well, it's just been so bizarre, hasn't it? But I've made the effort. I've got my suit on for you, even though I'm at home. I thought I'd keep in trim and turn up as I would normally do. Nothing fits, I'll be honest with you. In all this time I've been off, my pants are tight, my shirt are tight. The only thing, I couldn't even put them in today, the only thing that fits properly these days is my contact lenses, I'll be honest with you. In all this time we've been off, incredible, £7 I've put on. £7. I didn't know at the very start when Boris Johnson said we can only go back to work when we flatten the curve, that this was what he was meaning. So hopefully I'll be back by Christmas with this big bloody thing going on there. But it's great to be here. Wore the suit. I thought I'd make the effort because you're all at home, obviously in your tracksuit bottoms and your comfy pants, as you will. And even when I wore this suit, right, and this is my favourite suit, to be honest with you, there's times when you turn up at events and you don't know what to expect, you don't know the dress code, and I wore this to a very exclusive golf club. And as I'm saying, you know when someone's that posh, it's that posh, I could hardly understand what the guy that was talking to me was saying. That's how posh he was. And his name was Robin. Now, to me, that's a Robin, but he's up there, so he's called Robin. And as I've turned up, he's greeted me and he's been very polite. And he says, how delightful it is to see that you've come in your lounge suit. Me lounge suit? I'm from Kirby in Liverpool. I've got 2 suits. I've got this suit and me shell suit. That's it. So, loads of things. I'm sure you're all getting used to it now, getting used to being at home. I actually did a show in Liverpool the other night. It's the first time I'd driven a distance in all this time, and I filled my car up for the first time in months, and at this moment in time it's been getting 10 weeks to the gallon, so it's performing really well, the car, at the moment. So we went to Liverpool, we're doing bits, it's all settled down now, and hopefully we're nearer the end than we were. You know, it feels better, and football's coming back. Big football fan, mate. Doesn't matter who you support, we won't fall out, alright? That's how it works with me. I'm just a football fan, because one of the main things I miss about football is the game itself, but also the banter. The banter with your pals, the banter online, just having a good laugh with people. That's what I miss about missing the football. And one of the main things, there was a big situation, it was last year. Now, I'm an Evertonian, I support Everton. Big rivals, of course, Liverpool. And when I used to walk my son to school, and it goes back to last May when Liverpool were in the Champions League final and went on to win it. But me and this Liverpool fan, every day, we'd have a bit of banter. You know, we'd always up at who's going to win, who's going to do this, that and the other. And it was all good-natured fun. And when Liverpool won that Champions League, I was dreading that school walk. But I thought, no, go on, get it done. And I've walked around and my son's there, and I could see this Liverpool fan, and he could see me, and he's giving it all, ole, ole, ole. He's singing away. I thought, oh, this is going to be a torrid walk to school. As we were going, it's getting a bit gritty really, because he was pushing all my buttons. And I'm not an aggressive man, I don't like to fall out with people, but he pushed me and he went over the line, and threats of violence were made, you know, and we squared up, and luckily for him, the school bell went and he had to go in, so that was the end of that. So and of course homeschooling, been doing the homeschooling, that's been an absolute nightmare for me. And all these years now, my son's 12, he's now realised how thick I actually am. Previously I could just go in another room, go on the Google, come back, answer, Dad's a genius. All gone now. all gone. And here's the thing, I don't know about you, but I've been doing things like Zoom, an awful lot more. Zoom this, Zoom that, Zoom parties. I've had Zoom birthday parties for my birthday. For my birthday this year, unbelievable. Because it's fell in this time, all I got for my birthday was a card off Moonpig. Now, she hates it when I call her that, but, I'm 46, right? I should be acting my age, but I thought what I would do is I'd go and get some new clothes, right? Treat myself to some new clothes, but I won't go to my normal shops. I'll go where the young ones go. I'll go where the trendy kids go. And I went to a shop in the shopping centre called Liverpool 1, called the Hollister. I can't believe how dark that shop is. It's pitch black in there. That's why everyone wears clothes that don't fit the normal size. That's why they're coming out with clothes that are ripped, I can only assume. And I'm good to go in the Hollister. I've got my miner's lamp on, I've got my Labrador, in a go. And I'm walking around, and all I want is a brand new pair of jeans, just a nice new pair of jeans. And as I turned this corner, there was a glimmer of light, and on the wall were these jeans, these bowed jeans like that. And this handsome lad come over and he went, "Can I help you?" I went, "Yeah." I said, "Have you got any jeans for people who haven't got rickets?" So I've given up on those sorts of shops now. And I'm going where a fella my age should shop. And I'm not embarrassed to say it, right? I go to Tesco for my clothes. F&F, right? Fat and 40, that's what it stands for. F&F, fat and 40. Embracing it, that's what I'm doing. And I've gone in there and I find these pants, right? I don't want tracksuit bottoms, right? I just want these comfy pants, that's what I want. And I find some. £30, 30 points. Winner. Right, because I know there's young ones out there going, "You get your clothes from Tesco." I get club card points. I'm in the club. I can get vouchers. I can go Blackpool Pleasure Beach for £7.50 this summer. So I've got them. But now I need to try them on. And it's not like these young fashionable outlets where you have a big changing room and an oak door and a chrome handle. Not in the Tesco. Oh no. All you have is a little cubbyhole like that. Right? And you don't even have a door. You have a black cloth, and the black cloth never goes all the way to the end. There's always a gap. I'm nervous of that gap. Also, I'm nervous. I've got 1 foot underneath the cloth, wrapped round my trolley, because I don't want some scallywag running off with the big shop, right? And I'm pulling them up, and I went, oh, they look smart. They look lovely. And that was the moment I looked down and realised the pants I chose were elasticated. And you know what? Didn't care less. I just went, I don't need to get changed when I get in. Look at these pants, all day pants. I can wear them in the morning and I can wear them at night. Dress for comfort, that's what I say, comfy pants. And you might think this is a strange way to watch comedy. It's certainly a strange way to perform comedy, just upstairs in my house. But all gigs are different shows, different things. And normally you go and there's a big audience in front of you and you can have a laugh and you can have a bit of banter and chat to people, and it's always good mannered. And never have I thought to myself, I've said anything to cause offence to anyone, to cause anyone to say anything heckly wise or threaten me, until last year, right? And it wasn't my fault, but it was the first time in my life, my career of comedy, that I thought, I'm going to get punched here. And I've turned up to do this show. Honestly, it was a rugby club. Now, I thought I was going to a golf club. It was only when they messaged me on the Saturday afternoon, it was a rugby club. 220 lads, all there laid out. And I've got to perform by the wall there with the bar behind me. But they were good as gold, and I've got to do 45 minutes to these lads after they've been on the drink all day, starting at 3 o'clock, some of them. And they're all there, all wrapped round, 220 lads. And I thought to myself, oh, here we go. So I'm picking on him. Everything's going great. Everything's going brilliant. If somebody wants a drink, they go to the bar, they get a drink, they sit down. Brilliant. After about 20 minutes, I'm stood there telling some jokes, and I could feel a presence. I could just feel a presence. And this lad sort of went through me. He didn't go that way or that way. He came through my shoulder, clipped my shoulder. He's got 3 pints in his hand and he's walked right in front of me. So he's testing me out. And I thought, I need to say something here. If I don't say something now, he's going to get back to his table and say to his friends, see, he didn't have the bottle to say anything to me. So all I said is, if you're looking for Princess Fiona, she went that way. And he went, what? Now my bottle's gone. I went, Princess Fiona went that way. And he went, do you think you're funny? Now I knew he had 3 pints in his hand. So I said, what time is it? Hoping I'd do that. And he put the pints down. And he turned around and he went, time for you to get knocked out. And as he's walking towards me, I'm in a situation. Now I know in general, a lot of these rugby club type lads, they're big lads, but they don't like a bully. So I need to make a decision on the mic. So I said out loud, right, I'm putting my hand out as an act of friendship. So they knew then. They're all on my side. They all start booing him. They're all booing him. And he knew he was in trouble. He knew he couldn't do nothing. And he squeezed my hand and he whispered in my ear and he went, as soon as you've finished, you're getting knocked out. 3 hours I was up there. But in the end, the club were furious and they brought the captain over and they brought this lad over and they were going to make him apologise. And I was going to accept the apology because I hadn't been paid yet. And I said, well, no problem, thank you very much. And then I thought to myself, do you know what? Shouldn't have to put up with that in the workplace. He needs telling. So I said, listen here, Shrek. I says, you might be hard with 220 of your mates. I said, where I'm from, you stand up for yourself. I'm not putting up with that. I said, you've had about 16 pints. I said, you'll probably take one swing and miss, therefore landed on the floor, and I'll take advantage of that situation and I'll knock you out myself. I said, I can only assume your head's that purple because your bra is too tight. Send. But ladies and gents, I don't know what you're up to. I don't know where you're working. I don't know where you're sat in your house. You could be outside in the shed. It's going to be sunshine is going to be coming next week. So you could be outside watching this on an iPad or an iPhone. But whatever you're doing, enjoy it. Thank you very much for watching and support live comedy, support this type of comedy. And I'll hand you back to Duncan.
Sutherland, ladies and gentlemen, wasn't that fantastic? Thank you so much, Jamie. Now, just to point out that obviously the comedians aren't working at the moment, and so one of the reasons we're putting on this night is to raise money for some comedians. And the way you can donate to the night is if you go onto our website at www.kingdomcomedy.co.uk and click on the charity night. You can then donate. We say a minimum of £5, but you can give as little or as much as you like. But please do consider giving because they're not working at the moment and they just love to go out and bring joy to people. So we're really hoping that very soon we'll be able to put on some live comedy nights for them. Okay, so did you enjoy the first act?
Yeah.
Oh, wasn't it great? Now, because during lockdown, you see, I've not only, because I'm a psychotherapist with the NHS, but I've learned other new skills. During lockdown. I've learned to dye hair. I've learned to do braids. And I've learned...
Rubbish at it.
I'm not rubbish at it. I just got fat. My fingers are a bit... fat. That's the problem. I can't get a bit chubby. Thanks, Jackie. A bit chubby. But also, I've learned to wax. I've actually been able to learn to wax.
Your legs!
Not my legs. No, No, not my legs. I've had to help Jackie wax her legs, and as I was doing it, right, it took me back to the Karate Kid, and I could not help myself, right. So it was like, because when you're waxing, right, what you do is you have to make the wax warm and melt it, then you spread it on the leg, so it's wax on, wax off. Wax on, wax off. Do you remember the Karate Kid? You remember the Karate Kid, don't you, Jackie? And every time I do it, and eventually she said, you don't have to do it every time. Right? But there is those times, if you're of my generation, there's been times that the Karate Kid has come back. Whenever I'm washing my car, I'm thinking, wax on again, wax off. I was sanding the floor, right? Sandy floor, in the Karate Kid. And it's absolutely, but there's certain situations you can do that. But obviously, Jackie, if you're giving somebody a bed bath as a nurse, you can't start going wax on, wax off.
Oh.
That would be inappropriate. Yeah. So, thank you, Jackie. So I thought there was a bit of music in the Karate Kid. And I thought, because at the moment, we stopped clapping for the NHS, because it's been 10 times for the key workers in the NHS and other key workers. And I was thinking maybe we could play this song from the Karate Kid. Go on, hit it.
Nothing's gonna ever keep you down. You're the best.
Remember this song?
Nothing's gonna ever keep you down. You're the best.
Some of you thinking, the younger ones are thinking, Karate Kid, that was with Will Smith's son. Okay, hang on. It's all right, no problem. So what I was thinking of doing, each week we can do the best around. So you can go on our website on Make an Inquiry, and you can nominate somebody for the best around, right? And then we'll play that for them next week. Oh, in 2 weeks' time, should I say? In 2 weeks' time. But for this week, to do something just a little bit different, what we're going to do, I want you to do it to somebody in the room that you're with at the moment, right? Someone you're doing it with at the moment, and you point at them and sing this song and call the best around. So you got to do it as well. So wherever you are, point at the person and sing this song. Ready? Hit it, Jackie. Whenever you're ready. Best around. Nothing's ever gonna keep you down. You're the best around. Nothing's ever gonna keep you down. You're the best. You got it?
Yeah.
Okay. So you give yourselves a round of applause, everybody. We're doing that. Give yourselves a round of applause. So, ladies, are you ready for your next act?
Yeah.
Okay, here we go. Now, this time it's going to be exactly the same as last time, but we're going to start on this side with you, Hannah. Go all the way across the way to Alex. You with us, Alex?
Yes.
Good old Alex. So we're going to go all the way across to Alex. Again, on your own, you can just go, hang on. Like that. If there's 2 of you, pass it along. 4 of you, you know what you're doing. The more you get into it, the better. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Here we go. Okay, Hannah, off you go. There we go. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome on stage. That's a wonderful, fantastic Mrs. Isy Suttie.
Good evening. Hello, I'm Isy Suttie. Good evening. Welcome to my bit. I'm in front of a mantelpiece with a vast array of different sized vases and inexplicably a knitted effigy of my other half. There he is. I don't know who you're in lockdown with. I'm with my family, which is this guy, and 2 kids, one 1-year-old and one 5-year-old. The 5-year-old doesn't stop talking the language of Peppa Pig, and the 1-year-old's only word is E-I-E-I-O. We're having a great time. My 5-year-old made up a song the other day that goes, Corona, go away, Easter, you can stay, which I thought was quite nice, actually. And you can substitute Easter for anything. Chocolate oranges, you can stay, anything at all. Easter seems like absolutely ages ago now. But we're getting through it. We're getting through it together. When they announced that there were some changes and we could go and see people, you know, who we might be wanting to see, I rang my mum and I was like, Mum, you know, we could come and see you. And my mum's quite a blunt person. She's always like, well, why would you want to do that? So she said, well, why? I can see you on the computer. And I said, well, no, but I could, you know, we could drive and wave to you through the window maybe, or go into the garden. And I said, I'd probably have to have a wee in Jeff's runner beans, but it might actually help them to grow a bit. And she was like, yeah, well, it's absolutely fine. I can certainly do without seeing you in real life. I don't know what the point of it would be. She's quite a kind of not blunt person, I suppose, as much as she is completely honest about her feelings. She doesn't really have a kind of filter, and she likes everything to be very specific. So it was her birthday just before lockdown, and I managed to get a present to her. And I said, what do you want? Because she always has a list. She doesn't like surprises. And she said, well, I want a book. Everyone's been talking about it at church. It's called it's called She's All Right. I said, okay, I can remember that. She's All Right. Okay. So I went to the local bookshop. He said he hadn't heard of it. I looked on Amazon. There was no book called She's All Right. And so I asked her again, and she said, yes, it's had lots of reviews. It's won awards. It's everyone's reading it. I said, okay. Had another look. Couldn't find it at all. So I just got her a giant Toblerone and a pen. And she wasn't happy with that at all. She opened it and said, what's this? I asked for She's All Right. I said, Mum, there is no book called She's All Right. I know you asked for it, but there is no book called She's All Right. She said, yeah, there is. And she got her iPad and looked. She said, I'll prove it to you. Turns out she meant Eleanor Oliphant is completely fine, which is so different from She's All Right. Like, if you ask someone how they are and they say, I'm completely fine. There's no way that doesn't sound suspicious. Even if they're like, I'm completely fine, it just looks dodgy. Whereas if you ask someone how they are and they go, I'm all right, it just seems true. Yeah, I'm all right. And if anyone who's read the book knows, she is certainly not. All right, she's started now calling it Eleanor Rigby is completely fine, so at least it's a step in the right direction. So I don't know who you guys are in lockdown with. Obviously, I'm talking to lots of people. You might be with kids like me, you might be on your own, you might be with someone you don't know that well, you might be with a housemate, other members of your family. I've been thinking about all the different people I've lived with and how lucky I am really to be with, that it's happened at this time in my life, that lockdown didn't happen to me when I was 22 and going out with a guy on and off who used to say things like, well, the cat's away, the mouse due away. I mean, what would be happening if I was going out with him? Would I be living with him? It would be an absolute nightmare. And I've lived with a lot of people who are kind of, at the beginning seem really eccentric and cool, and at the end are like revealed to be absolutely insane and I can't get away from them. And there are two that stick into my head. One, I would live with this Australian girl called Rachel, and I think she would be quite hard to be in lockdown with. She used to speak really slowly. She used to talk so slowly. Hello, my name is Rachel. She once came downstairs in a green top and brown trousers and went, do I look like a tree? But I think the worst person to be in lockdown with is my friend Anya from Slovenia, who I lived with a long time ago, and she's a very blunt person, a bit like my mother, but she say the truth, and if you don't like it, it's your fault. It's your fault. We were once sitting watching telly. I'd had a really good evening, we'd had a nice meal, and she was looking at my face, like really studying my face. So I said, oh, are you all right? She said, yes, your face. It's like your eyes are from one face, your nose from another, and your mouth from yet another. Together, it does not make sense. So I feel quite lucky, really, to be with this guy. My partner Ellis, here he is. He does have some annoying habits actually. He chops cucumber on the breadboard, which I've never noticed before, but obviously we're eating all our meals together now. So that cucumber is constantly covered in crumbs, and he's like, well, so what? It all goes down the same way. And I'm like, well, so are you going to mix chocolate and liver? He's like, yeah. You have all these little chats. The other thing that he does is he fills orange squash. I ask for a glass of orange squash, and he fills it halfway to the top. I say, why have you done that? And he says, oh, it's in case you spill it. I said, what? Sometimes he'll fill it 2/3 full, but never full. Never, I don't mean full to top. I mean with like a centimetre below the top. So I said, what? It must be a nightmare for you when you go to the pub and ask for a pint in a 2-pint glass in case you spill it. All these things that you don't notice until you're in lockdown. The other thing that he does is that he sighs. If I ever talk about emotions, like an emotional thing, or saying, oh, my friend's having a nightmare with her husband in lockdown, he won't stop watching Star Wars, or going on about his accountancy business and she doesn't feel that she gets a chance to blah, 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 start talking, and he just goes, and I go, okay, great. Well, you're the only other adult that I ever see, so if I can't talk to you about it. He goes, no, I wasn't sighing. I just sometimes forget to breathe. And it just so happened that I remembered at that time to breathe. So, yeah, it's a coincidence. Yeah, I do love him. I do love him, really. So I'm going to finish with a song in Welsh, because he is Welsh. Welsh is his first language. When we got together, I really started to learn it. I've got a guitar, by the way, that isn't coming out of just him. He isn't a magical singing doll. I've got a guitar. Yeah, when we first got together, I started to learn Welsh. It's an amazing language, it really is. It's very beautiful. And I'm not really a natural at languages. The only language that I can speak is French. And the only thing that I can say is, Je joue le ping-pong à La Rochelle, which any dweebs who live in or around La Rochelle, or any fans of the book Tricolore, will remember as, I play table tennis in La Rochelle. So I'm hoping that my Welsh fares a little bit better, and I've written this song for Ellis. ni, aetho chi, aetho niw. Mae Carys yn mynd i'r Bangor ac unio bwyta ddi gaws. Bwrwyd a ceser nwlog o'r toim glaw. Mae'n chwaer gyda fi, dwi'n hoffi nofio. Dwi'n chwarae dennis bwrdd, ble ddim yn cofio. I'll just translate it in case you don't know what it means. I went, you went, he, she went. We went, you went, formal, they went. Carys went to the town centre, for lunch she had cheese. It is hailing, raining, snowing, cold, hot, foggy. I have one sister, I like swimming. Oh, I play table tennis where I can't remember. Dwi'n chwarae dennis bwrdd in La Rochelle. Thank you very much. Have a great evening. Take care of yourselves. Good night.
Isy Suttie, ladies and gentlemen. Did you enjoy that?
Yeah.
Wasn't that great? Thank you so much for agreeing to be part of the night. It's really, really a lot appreciated. Because as I said before, comedians aren't gigging at the moment, and they love to do it. They really do love to do it. One of the things that we're trying to do is raise money for some of the comedians. So you can donate to the night also. And at Kingdom Comedy, we organise comedy nights all over the country. So if you do want to make an inquiry, because as lockdown starts to lift, what an amazing way of bringing your community, your church, your club together than with a comedy night. And so just go on there, make an inquiry, and we can have a chat about what we can do for you. Because this is just a small taste of some of the amazing nights that Kingdom Comedy put on, because we just love doing it. We love doing it. So, right, I think without further ado, I think we should move on to our next act. What do you think, ladies and gentlemen?
Yeah.
Now, this is one of my favourite parts of the show, you see, because now we're starting in the middle, right? So if you're on your own, you do it like that. Like that. Oh, but if there's two of you, you start from the middle, both of your hands together, and then you go out like that. Yeah. Same with the four of you, splitting it apart. Now, but I don't want to discriminate. If you really, really want to do that, do that. You know, don't just because there's four of you there. You can do the single one, which is my favourite. Okay, are you ready for your final act? You're doing it. Jackie's practicing it already. Okay. Oh, Hannah likes that one as well. Okay, are you ready? Remember? So, okay, here we go. Ready? Off you go. Keep clapping, get the clapping, go! Ladies and gentlemen, welcome on stage. Your final act for this evening, Mr. Steve Day!
Thank you, Duncan, and hello everybody. Hello kids. My name's Steve Day, and I'm actually Britain's only deaf comedian. Well, if there are any others, I haven't heard. Or, as I've been saying a lot lately, if there are any others, I haven't herd immunity. Because I don't know if you've heard about this, but there's this disease called COVID-19 around the place. I don't know if you've heard about it. Well, I found it all very much a strain, to be honest. A strain, you see, because you're supposed to keep 2 meters, aren't you? 2 meters, and people are wearing face masks, and that's all. I know why, and it's all very good. You try lip reading someone in a face mask. It's not easy. So what I've been suggesting that people should do, in consideration of those who are hard of hearing and deaf, is that they should carry 2 semaphore flags with them wherever they go, so that they can communicate to me. That would be a good idea, wouldn't it? Mind you, the whole 2 metre thing and the social distancing, it's very important, and it's still happening, but people are confused. I've seen lots of older people not keeping the 6 feet, the 2 metres distance as they should be, and older people might be more vulnerable. You see, I think they're confused, you see. 2 metres, well, that's metric, isn't it? That's foreign. They should just say it's 6 feet. Or if that's too difficult, 1.5 grandmas. Mind you, I mean, it's easy to get unfit during these lockdown days, isn't it? You know, hanging around indoors. So what I've been doing is giving myself an hour of exercise a day. An hour of tutting. Yes, because what I do, you see, because people are not obeying the rules, well, you know, I spend 20 minutes on the way to the park with some light tutting to warm up. I get to the park where I do some high intensity interval tutting, and then I do 20 minutes tut down on the way home. And that way I'm keeping fit, aren't I? Now you may wonder why I'm in my car. Well, you see, a lot of people have said to me over the years, Steve, the best thing about your comedy is the fact that you can drive. And this is one of the things I've been missing since this lockdown. There are no comedy gigs to drive to. And I'm so scared of getting rusty. So what I've been doing lately is just driving to random places. Tonight I'm driving to Exeter, and I'm just going to sit in the car park for an hour, tell myself a few jokes, turn round and come home. You see, that way I'm keeping my hand in, aren't I? But I'm also trying to be positive. You've got to be positive during these days, haven't you? You can't just let it get to you. I mean, one of the ways is an effective way is to pretend you're someone else. Start thinking of yourself in the third person. That's what Steve Day's doing anyway. And that way you give yourself a bit of distance, don't you? Bit of distance. And it's happening to somebody else while I'm driving in my car with my coffee, perfectly happening. That's Steve Day. Well, he might be suffering lockdown, but, you know, he's going to have to sort it out for himself. Another thing I've been doing is to watch TV, but not just anything. No, stuff to make me feel calm. Stuff to make me feel relaxed. For example, nature documentaries. But I don't know if it's helping, because I found myself shouting at the TV the other day, David Attenborough, if you love the Galapagos Islands so much, why don't you marry them? Ended up worse than I was before I started. Mind you, there have been some gigs. I don't know if you've seen. I'm sure some of you have had Zoom meetings. Well, I've been in some Zoom comedy gigs. The audience are in front of you, all the little squares, you know. But I found myself looking for the Crime Stoppers number because it looked like people on a lineup. I know that person, and that's what made me think. I don't know if you see it on the TV news, especially breakfast TV. They have one of these. Somebody starts singing a song, and then all of a sudden on the same screen, there's 8 people singing a song, and then there's 200 people all singing the same song. Like, you may think, oh, isn't that lovely? I'm thinking, at least 2 of those people are wanted for armed robbery. You've got to think about it, haven't you? But it's not all been bad. I mean, some things have worked out. For example, I've got fit. I've got the tutting, obviously, and being on a diet. Being on a diet has really been okay. I'm on a keto diet. The keto diet, if you don't know, is to not eat any carbohydrates, you see, and that's what I've done. And I was really helped at the start of the lockdown when people panic bought food in the shops, you see, because first of all there was no pasta. Well, if you're on a keto diet, you see, you're not allowed to eat pasta, so that was good. And then there was no bread, and well, bread's all carbohydrate, so that didn't affect me. And you see, the other thing about a keto diet, people might not know, it does tend to make you a bit constipated. So when there was no toilet roll, well, it didn't affect me in the slightest. Other things, they said, don't touch your face, don't touch your face, don't touch your face. Well, I'm a dog walker, and I found one of the benefits of being a dog walker, because I don't know, other dog owners here, I'm sure you find the same. Sometimes when you pick up your dog's poo, sometimes you can't help getting a bit of it on your fingers. Well, I tell you this, if you do that, you're not going to touch your face, are you? That's why I think dog walkers have been some of the safest people during this whole whole lockdown business. Keep positive. Keep making get in your car and have a drive, or just sit outside in your car out in the street. It can't affect you, to be honest. In some ways, you're going to be down sometimes. You are during a lockdown. These are strange times, but say this to yourself. Were you really happy every single day when it wasn't lockdown? No, you were not. Your worries might have been more trivial, but you were stressing about something, weren't you? Now you can just sit and watch your TV and watch David Attenborough on a weekend for two with the Galapagos Islands and just let your troubles float away a bit. Think about this. Think about a year ago. I remember a year ago watching the Cricket World Cup. So that was a year ago. It seems like yesterday. So if you can think back a year, and that was so soon, think forward a year. Think forward a year when finally this Skoda might have a MOT again. Who knows? Mind you, it's given it this car hasn't moved anywhere apart from my driving to gigs that won't happen. It's been lovely. I don't know. You see, this car, it's a Skoda, and inside it I've had for 6 months this jar of hand sanitizer, and you can see it's almost half full. Well, there was a time earlier this year at the start of the pandemic when this jar of hand sanitizer was actually worth more than my car. Isn't that fantastic? You see, there is always a silver lining. You just have to look for it. Mind you, I don't know about you, but I've found this pandemic to be a bit of a trial run for retirement. I can't help it. All I need is to buy some Werther's Originals and a cardigan from Amazon, and basically that's where I'm at the moment until Duncan came along with Kingdom Comedy, and now I feel 20 years younger. 20 years. And you see, look, I've even made an effort. I've been living like a wild man for the last, is it 12 weeks? It could be 12 years. I don't know. Please let me out. Please let me drive somewhere. I'll even drive on the M6. That's how much I miss it. I'd even take a highways agency diversion via a Cirencester. I mean, that's how much I need to do it. You've been absolutely lovely. Thank you so much again, Duncan, for having you. My name's Steve Day, here in my car with my coffee in lockdown, handing you back to the front room. Thank you very much. Thank you, Duncan, and good night, everybody.
Steve Day, ladies and gentlemen. Wasn't he great? Thank you so much, Steve, for being part of the night. It's really, really appreciated. And I just want to say, before we go on, thank you to our audience. Give yourselves a round of applause, audience. And you out there for watching. So thank you so much for being part of the night. Now, before we go, as I said, you can donate to the night if you go on our website. And if you want to make an inquiry about a comedy night, please go on our website and you can find some more information there. There's just one other thing. There is another online comedy event that's going to be happening from the 16th to the 18th of June. And that's online St Andrews St Andrew's Bookshop is putting on 3 nights of a comedy festival with some great acts like Andy Kine, Tony Vino, and many, many, many more. And there you can get more information on that on www.standrewsbookshop.co.uk. Some more great comedy online, so do support live comedy. So that I've just got one other thing I've got to do, and that's thank the acts for this evening. So, ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for your first act, Mr. Jamie Sutherland.